Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday Leeds Champions League. Chris here, aka Big Will, and today we have our first league game in charge of Oldham Athletic at home against Doncaster Rovers. And we also have our transfer special today, and we'll take a full look at the squad that we have managed to build. In terms of pre-season, a mixed bag, to be quite honest. We set up a few reasonable fixtures for ourselves. Obviously, throughout the course of pre-season, we have been trying to sort everything out with the squad, so it's been very hit and miss with how everything's been set up. But we have managed a couple of wins in there and a really good draw against Burnley last time out, which finished 4 apiece. So we are showing good signs of improvement, but it will take time for the lads to get used to obviously the changing tactics and obviously to get used to one another because we have had to do quite a lot of transfer business. So we'll start off from a general perspective. We were given 2 ESC slots, so any foreign players that couldn't get a work permit can be used for those ESC slots, and we have managed to bring in a couple of really good players for those places. But we'll start off with the goalkeepers. So Matthew Hudson was already at the club. He seems like a reasonable goalkeeper. His overall concentration isn't the best, which is why I felt that we needed to get another keeper in. We need someone that's going to be full on all the time and try and keep that concentration in there. But his goalkeeping attributes aren't too bad. Really good average goalkeeper for League Two level. And the player that we brought in as a backup was Louis Molden, who I think is an upgrade, to be quite honest. Certain attributes don't quite match up with Hudson, but he is still a very good goalkeeper. And I certainly think that between the two of them, there's going to be plenty of competition for that goalkeeping spot. I don't know how my assistant will view it, but I would favour Molden out of the two keepers. In terms of central defensive options, we have Will Sutton, who is already at the club. I think he's a decent defender, to be honest. I think positionally he could improve a little bit. He is 26 years of age, though. He's not got too much potential, to be quite honest. He's pretty much at the stage that he's going to be at. But overall, a reasonable defender, and he was a good starting point for the squad when it came to the transfers. Seb Drummond, again, another centre-back that was already at the club, 22 years of age. He could come off the bench over the course of the season. I don't think he's got amazing amounts of quality. Um, he has got a bit of potential, but I think he's going to be more of a backup slash rotational option in that central defensive role. But from a general perspective, it could be a lot worse. Billy Sass Davis, again, he's a similar option as a backup central defender. His overall attributes don't really read out very well. Defensive attributes aren't the best. His marking, his heading, and his tackling are reasonable. Positional, not too bad, I suppose. But he has got decent teamwork and work rate abilities with good physical attributes as well. So he could still come in useful as our backup. A player that we have managed to bring in is 18-year-old Brazilian defender Joe. I mean, I think we've done really well to be able to bring him in, to be honest. Fairly sporting personality, really good physical attributes. His strength does let him down a little bit, but he's got good jumping reach, a good amount of pace to him as well, with good stamina. Mental attributes are quite strong, really good positional play from the central defender. Heading, marking, and tackling ability, all quite reasonable as well. He's not the best passer of the ball, so he is going to be in as just a general defender. 4-star of current ability with that potential as well, and he could be a League One quality centre back. So I think we've done really, really well to be able to bring him in. Charlie Wellens has come in as a bit of a utility player. He can play on the right wing, at right back, in the holding midfield, central midfield. Um, yeah, I think he's a really good signing to have, to be honest. And overall, I'm reasonably pleased to have got him in. His technicals aren't the best, to be quite honest. I think realistically he's going to be more of one of those midfielders that break things up a little bit in terms of his attributes and such. But he has had a decent league career. He has been playing in the National League for the last couple of years and the National North, but he's played a little bit of League One football. But he's a good player to come in and be a bit of a utility player who can cover multiple positions. Originally started his career at Manchester United, never made an appearance. But he did have a loan spell with the club from Manchester United when Oldham were in the National League. So he's got previous with the club. We'll just see how he gets on, and hopefully he will come good for us as well. Jacob Bedo is a central defender come left back, previously of Notts County, and he's played very regularly at this level in League Two for Notts County over the last 5 or 6 seasons. And same with Morecambe a couple of years before. Also had a full season in League One there a couple of times. So he's done okay in his career, Jacob Bedo, and I think he's a really good player to have in. And again, he's got that league experience. And I think he's a really good defender. He's got decent physical attributes. He's not the tallest, so likely we'll favour him at left back over centre back. I have toyed with the idea of going to a back three and not having any wing backs, but have like defensive midfielders that can cover out wide as well. I've had a look at different formations, but I think just with the straight up 4-4-2, 4-4-2, sorry, four at the back is where we're going to be setting up for the start of the season at the very least. I have really struggled to find fullbacks, to be quite honest. It's been the bane of this transfer window. We've really struggled to find quality in those areas. But overall, he's a very good defender. He's got good pace and natural fitness as well, decent stamina. So as a left back, I think he will certainly come good in that role. Tom Nixon was a player that was already at the club as the right back. He's only 2-star of current ability. He's not the best. I'm not too sure why it's not showing up with his attributes at the minute. But yeah, he's not the best player realistically. He's the only proper right back that we've got at the club, unfortunately. And again, this is what I was saying. We have got some youngsters that can play in that role. So it might be that we take a bit of a risk in that right back position and try and bring him in. But of course, we've got Charlie Wellens as well, who can play in that position. So it is likely that Wellens could take up that role as the permanent right back for this season. Davon Gabajumo was the left back that was already at the club. He was quite highly rated when we first came in, but of course, we didn't really have a squad at that point. He's got great physical attributes. To be quite honest, his technicals and his mental attributes aren't great, to be honest. But I think depending on how things go, because he is only 21 years of age, he is only considered a breakthrough prospect. So between him and Bedo, I think we're reasonably well covered in that left back role. Ryan Beattie is a youngster that we've kept in the first team. He's only a 1.5-star current ability. He can play right back or right midfield. Now, I think he's a good young player. We've kept him in the first team. I think he will come good for us. He is injured at the moment, unfortunately. Technical attributes, again, they're not screaming out to you. I can see that. Teamwork is quite good, though. He's quite an exciting player with plenty of flair and bravery. Determination isn't the best, but he's got good physical attributes as well. So we're keeping him in as a little bit of extra cover for that right back and right midfield role. And I think, to be quite honest, we'll make him available for the under-21s as well, just to make sure that he's getting game time, because he will be very much a bit part player for us this season. And now we come to the main part. The midfield is where we've strengthened a lot. Finlay Cartwright, a 22-year-old central midfielder, has come into the club. I really like the look of him, to be honest. Decent technical attributes, decent mental attributes, and good physical attributes as well. He's a good all-rounder in the midfield. Only 2.5-star of current ability, but he does have that potential. Can play in defensive midfield or central midfield. And he was previously of Middlesbrough. He didn't really break in, well, he never broke into the team at Middlesbrough. Has had a loan in the National League with Aldershot a couple of years back and in League Two with Bristol Rovers. Eventually he got released and we've managed to pick him up. And I think he's a really good option in that midfield. He's on just over £2,000 a week, which isn't ideal. He has played a cup tie for Middlesbrough before, but again, it's just going to be one of those things for a couple of these players. It'll be interesting to see how they get on going forward. But he's got that potential. I'm really excited to have him in. Adam Caddick has come in as another central midfield option. It was the position that we really needed bodies, especially considering how we want to be playing. Previously started his career at Blackburn Rovers. then went to non-league and played for Warrington Rylands. Picked up in the National League by Scunthorpe, had a very slow start to his career, but he had a really good season last year, playing pretty much a full season in the National League, and we've picked him up as a backup central midfielder. And he's coming as a star player, but realistically, I don't know if he's going to really make the grade at the moment. So he was the first one that we brought in. But he's only on £1 a week, so I was quite happy to bring him in anyway. Elijah Dixon Bonner has come in, again, a player that can cover multiple positions. Um, he can cover at right back. He's a two-star quality right back, right midfield, central midfield, left wing, attacking midfield. He's very much an all-rounder. Again, the versatility is why we brought him in. Again, decent mental attributes, good determination, decent physical attributes as well. Good passing and technique with a decent first touch and dribbling ability. So realistically, from that midfield, hopefully he can be a bit of a creator in there and do well for us. In terms of his career, he's only had 5 clubs, realistically. Started his career at Liverpool, never made the grade. Had a full season in the Championship, played half the amount of games with Queen's Park Rangers. Didn't make it completely, had a loan spell in League One, went to the National League, and played for Oldham for a couple of years in that league and then promoted with Yeovil. He got a full season under his belt at this level. So again, he's a player that has got league experience that hopefully we can make use of. Isha Corbishley is a player that was already at the club, decent youngster, 2-star of current ability, had a loan spell at Brackley last season, played 19 games. He's okay, realistically. Again, I'm not really sure if he's going to make the grade, and we'll have to keep an eye on his development. He's got really decent physical attributes, so good amount of pace in his game, good determination as well, but he is a realist in terms of his mentality, so he may or may not make the grade. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Jack Norris, again, was a player that was already at the club. He's okay. Again, he's a decent backup attacking midfielder. Can also play in that central midfield role as well. Natural fitness is very good, so he does have the energy to really push himself in that central midfield. Determination is lacking, but he's got good leadership qualities. And again, overall, he's just a little bit of an all-rounder. He's not got the best potential, and I'm not too sure whether he'll make the grade either. But again, we will have to see what happens with him. Majid Balogun, really good signing, I think, this one. He's come in as a right winger, can also play up front, decent pace, good dribbling and crossing ability, which is why largely I want to be playing him on that right-hand side. Decent finisher as well, so again, more than capable of playing up front. Good first touch and passing ability, good determination with work rate, off the ball movement, and teamwork. I think we've picked up a good signing with him. He's an important player. He's only on £1.5 a week. Had 3 seasons at Gillingham in League One, where he has, well, last year he was in League One, the previous 2 in League Two. Came through United's academy and went to West Ham. Didn't make the grade. So again, a player that has come down to get first team football. And he's had 3 pretty good seasons recently with Gillingham. Last year he struggled a little bit in League One, but the League Two seasons, as you can see, he rated quite highly for the club. So hopefully, again, he can come in and do a really good role for us going forward. Matthew Taylor is still at the club. He was the young gem that we largely focused on in the previous episode. He does want to leave, though. He said that realistically, he is better than the club and he wants to really push on and try and further his career. So we have transfer listed him. His release clause is £450,000. So we have allowed him the opportunity to move, but nobody wants him. So he will hopefully be a key player for us this season. I really like the look of him. I hope he does stay. He wants a better squad. We've built a very good team since he requested to leave. So fingers crossed he will end up staying. Declan Frith has come in as a left winger, previously of Peterborough, and he's played. I mean, he's got a very wide variety of experience. Came through at Sutton and then he went to Welling, then he went to Chelsea and then Aston Villa. Very strange career path, realistically. He then went to Valencia's B team, managed to get some game time there. Went to the second division in Switzerland, plenty of game time there. And then in terms of Peterborough, he's had 4 seasons there, and he's played in League One for for 3 of those 4 seasons. Um, Unfortunately, last year he just lost his place, so we've again brought him in on a free transfer. And I think, to be honest, in terms of quality, he's not too bad. He's got really decent physical attributes, good determination, technical attributes. Again, they're wanting a little bit in certain areas, but he's a decent finisher. Got good dribbling ability and decent technique. So we'll see how he gets on. But that determination value of 14, I think, could be telling with him. And the thing with him as well is, look at that valuation. I've just noticed it, 2.6 million to 6.2. If things don't work out well for him, we'll certainly be selling him for a profit. He's on a 2-year deal, so plenty of time to see how he can do. David Akintola, another winger that we managed to bring in, he's 33 years of age, and realistically, he's not going to be the be all and end all. But we needed another winger to come in. He's only signed a 1-year deal, um, and overall, he's not too bad. Decent physical attributes, good mental attributes. He's got a wealth of experience as well. Yeah, technicals are just average realistically, but again, he's had a very wide range career as well, and he played 1 game in the Danish Super League for Midtjylland. Second division, he played quite a few games. Had many loan spells from Midtjylland, and he's played in Cyprus. He's played in Norway, played regularly there. Turkey, he had 4 or 5 seasons consecutively in the Super League with 2 different clubs. Came back to England, and he's had regular football in the Championship for a couple of years. So I think he's got great amounts of experience, and that will be invaluable to the young players that we've managed to bring in. The other ESC slot was taken by Joselito, another Brazilian. When we set up our transfer room it just flooded us with Brazilians. I don't know why, but it did. So we've brought him in, and I mean, you can see why. He's a decent finisher, good composure, bravery, decent determination, but his off the ball teamwork and work rate are outstanding, and he's reasonably quick as well. Good dribbling ability, good first touch technique, and passing. I think he could be very useful as a winger, but I want him up front. He is going to be our main man up front, hopefully, and I think he could be the difference going into this season. Benji Vecchi, Joe Quigley, and Kian Harat with the strikers already at the club. Vecchi, we're trying to offload. He's on 1.7 grand a week. He's not worth it. He's a decent finisher, and he's got a good amount of pace about his game, but he's not got the quality, to be quite honest. So we're hopeful that he will leave at some point. Joe Quigley, currently injured, wealth of experience, 32-year-old Irishman, 6'4", so he's the big type of striker like we had at Curzon. But he's not really going to be doing an awful lot, I don't think, this season. He's had a great career with Oldham. He's been at the club for the last 4 years in League Two. He's done really, really well for the last couple of years as well. And again, wealth of experience in the lower leagues. But I just don't think he's going to be playing an awful lot for us this season. And Kian Harrott, who was the main striker at the club to start with, he has again been at Oldham for quite a few years, started with them in the National League, but has played very regularly in the last couple of seasons in League Two. And again, he's got championship experience and such as well. So he's a good player to have around. But as an actual goal scorer, he he's not particularly consistent. Last couple of years, he's done okay. But when you look at 14 goals in 43 games, it's not enough for a main number 9. So to start with, our squad, I think, is looking pretty decent, to be quite honest. I think we've done really, really well to do things the way we have done. We've completely overhauled the backroom staff and sorted all that out also. The youth setup is looking quite strong. We've got a lot of players in the under 21s, so if we get major injuries and such, we can bring players in. Um, in terms of League Two, the season preview is what I'm after. Let's have a look. So season preview originally had us in the relegation zone, and we are, where are we? We're looking at 19th place now. So we have very much improved the squad. There are some very good teams in this division. Even the teams that came up, obviously, you've got Yeovil and Co in there as well. They're former League One clubs. and such. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. I'm hopeful that we can be competitive. The board want us to basically not get relegated this season. I think we've done really, really well. In terms of the recruitment side of things, we're £4 a week over the wage budget. So it's been a very, very tight thing regarding all the budgets, but we've done really well, I think. And from a general perspective, we've looked really good, to be quite honest. We're still getting recommendations. I mean, Patrick Roberts has just come up there as a recommendation to try and sign. I mean, that'd be a very statement signing, wouldn't it? But I doubt we'll be able to bring him in, to be quite honest. Let's just have a look, just for the sake of it. Um, I mean, to be quite honest, we could have afforded him, but not at the moment. We are maxed out on budgets, so that would have been a very statement signing, wouldn't it? But I'll have to remain without a player of his quality for now. Um, so yeah, overall, really happy with the squad. We've managed to set everything up quite well. Financially, we're pretty much on point, and we'll just have to wait and see. In terms of tactically, we are setting up in a similar fashion to what we did at Curzon. Um, we've got the mobility of Joselito as the striker, so he's going to be operating as a channel forward, so he'll be moving in and around everywhere, but he'll also be an outlet centre forward as well. So he will stay further forward and use his pace to break the defence on the counter attack. Similar setup, like say in midfield, we've gone for that standard setup with that central rod realistically in the midfield, with the playmaker in there and the defensive midfield. But out of possession, we do drop the attacking midfielder and the central midfielder back a little bit. We're going to have the two of them pressing as well. We've got a positive mentality on there. We're dropping the wing backs to full backs when we're out of possession as well, so they do just drop back and try and hold position a little bit more. But as a combined, I think we're covering the lateral areas of the pitch, to be honest. And I think hopefully this could set us up quite well, just for a nice, stable first season in charge. Obviously, we've got a couple of strikers that could both play regularly, like of Kean Harrott could play up front with Joselito as well. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Balogun, of course, is another option for being up front. So going into this game against Doncaster, I'm not overly sure what to expect, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see how we get on. We're going to be starting with Hudson in goal today. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take the risk. Mulden is going to start in goal today. Gubajumo, Bedo, Joe, and Nixon are at the back. Caddick in the base of the midfield with Wellens as the playmaker, Taylor as the attacking midfielder. Dixon Bonner is going in on the right hand side with Akintola on the left and Joselito up front. So we've got really good options that we can bring off the bench, the likes of, I mean, there's a couple of players struggling for fitness like Declan Frith, so he's going to miss out today. But we've got Balogun on there. I think we'll bring Frith into the bench, so we've got a couple of options out wide. We've got Norris and Cartwright in there, Sutton as the centre back. Defensive options are what we're lacking, to be quite honest, and I think that is going to be the problem, especially with the fullbacks. Obviously, we've got Bedo in there as well, so he can cover a little bit more. But the two new signings starting at centre back, Mulden, the new signing in goal. So the only players realistically in that first team that we haven't signed are the two fullbacks and Taylor in the attacking midfield. Everyone else is a brand new option. I am tempted to start Balogun. I think he's a better option on that right-hand side. So Dixon Bonner can be that utility player as well off the bench. So we'll give it a go and we'll see how we get on. I am hopeful, like I say, that we can have a good season. Obviously, in terms of match sharpness and such, the players are going to be a little bit short, very high squad numbers, because obviously we've got all of those youngsters taking up squad spots as well, realistically. And of course, if we do get injuries or the youth players do show good performances, they potentially can then come into the first team automatically. When you select your team with suggestions, sometimes the under 21s and such can come straight into the first team if they've been playing well, for example. So I kind of like that. it means that your youngsters can't always be forgotten, if you see what I mean. They can just come straight up from the under-21s automatically and take up squad spots. We saw it a few times at Curzon as well. So going into this game, like I say, I'm not too sure what to expect. Realistically, I just want us to be competitive and we need to be playing well at home. That is going to be the real key thing here. We need to play well at home, and hopefully we can get off to a good start. Like I say, I'm not too sure what to expect. I'm hopeful that the shape of the team can cover most of the areas of the pitch and give us different options. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Bedo knocking it to the left-hand side for Akintola. Plays it forward to Gbajumo. Again, using his physicality and pace there. Into Taylor. Has support arriving in the penalty area. Makes the turn. Good turn from him, but he just couldn't quite get the strike away. Joe into Caddick, who strikes it from distance. And very well controlled strike, but it goes over the bar. Obviously, you'll notice that the graphic has changed slightly with the scoreboard at the top. Obviously, League Two licensing has managed has been able for it to look a little bit more realistic. That's a really good save there from Lewin Bolden. The free kick was from quite a way out, but it almost caught the keeper out. But good awareness from Lewin Bolden, and he makes it look relatively straightforward. But it was a very good save, and overall, not too disheartened by the start. We haven't had an attempt on target as of yet. Whereas obviously Doncaster have just had that free kick. But in terms of chance creation, it will take a bit of time for the team to gel. We've got a lot of different nationalities in the team, especially at the back, which is a bit of a concern, obviously from communication perspective. Um, but I think team shape, hopefully, will be strong enough. And defensively, I think we've made some really good signings as Nixon just about manages to clear that one. Akintola, I don't know why he tripped his man up there. The ball was going out of play anyway. Maybe a sign of early frustration from him. Gbajumo just holding on to possession, finds Akintola. Good delivery into the penalty area, but it didn't really have much accuracy on it as Taylor finds Joselito back into Taylor. Can he get the strike away? No, he can't. He plays it to Balogun and just played it behind him, unfortunately. But Balogun's managed to get the cross in, and Akintola arrives at the far post. And that's a great bit of goalkeeping from Allen in the Doncaster goal. Really good save. And realistically, we should potentially have scored there. It was a decent attempt. Balogun did well with the cross, but we just couldn't find the back of the net. And it was, again, another really good piece of goalkeeping that we've seen today. Allen, incidentally, looking very, very much like the standout performer at the minute. We have had 8 attempts at goal, but only the 2 shots on target. But I'm not disheartened by the performance, for sure. We certainly seem to have an element of control in the game. Possession is very even. And yeah, I'll certainly take it. Doncaster, I've just noticed, being managed by Fraser Forster, the former England goalkeeper. A little bit disappointed we haven't created an awful lot. We've not seen an awful lot of Joselito or Taylor. I was toying with the idea of having Taylor as a playmaker as well. Obviously, we've got the playmaker as the main central midfielder. But having 2 playmakers in the midfield, I think at times can clash a little bit and can confuse matters somewhat at times too. But in terms of player quality, of course, we've got the options in there. As we take the throw on that right hand side, and Joe just holding on to possession and laying it back to Molden, and now Bedo plays the pass to Gbajumo, and now Akintola plays it forward to Taylor, who takes up that space really nicely and finds Joselito, and he's been brought down there by Baines. I mean, it did say L. Baines. I highly doubt it's Leighton Baines. He retired quite a few years ago. Taylor here with the free kick, and it's ended up hitting the crossbar, I think, there. In fact, it hasn't. A corner's been given, so another good piece of goalkeeping from Allen in the Doncaster goal. And it remains 0-0, but again, from a general performance, first game in charge, competitive fixture, I'm quite pleased. Balogun coming down this right-hand side. Can he use his pace to beat his man? Cuts in to find Taylor, who's been robbed by McRae. And we're trying to trap back here, but we have been caught out a little bit. And Hanlon into Zarovski. And there's McRae with the strike. And luckily, it does go over. And as I was saying before, about pre-season, preparation has been quite reasonable. We've had quite a few games, but obviously in terms of getting the lads used to one another, it has been a little bit last minute for a few of these players coming in. Taylor with a free kick, and it's smashed in off the underside of the crossbar, and that is a fantastic goal. Matthew Taylor, I did say, didn't I, at the start, when we had a look at the team in yesterday's episode, I did think that he was going to be a standout player, but my word, what a way to try and put that to the test. That is a fantastic free kick. And to be fair, the keeper was very unlucky. He almost got to that. But what a goal from Matthew Taylor. And I really do hope that he stays. But honestly, it is probably unlikely. He is very much better than League Two. I think he's at least a League One starter, if not a rotational option in the Championship. Or he certainly will be come the end of this season if he can keep playing like that. King and Hanlon, that's a great spell of passing and very poor in terms of the finish from King. I mean, he had a lot of the goal to aim at, but I think Lou Molden, with his positioning, just managed to put him off a little bit there. And it remains 1-0. But I think one or two of the players that we managed to bring in as well, they have been um, standout players. They've been very good quality. And Joe there being one of them with the header at the far post there, but couldn't quite get it on target. In terms of fitness, the players aren't actually looking too bad. We've got a decent setup here. Joselito has struggled today on his debut. He's not really seen an awful lot of opportunities, so Harrott can come on for him up front. Um, And in terms of other performances, we've not been that bad, to be quite honest. I don't really want to change too much, if I'm being truthful, but Wellens will bring off for Cartwright and give him his debut, and Dixon Bonner can come on for Caddick and get his debut in the midfield as well. And Declan Frith has struggled a bit fitness-wise, but he's not been too bad. We'll get him on for Akintola for his debut as well. And I think this is going to be the key thing. The new signings that we brought in, we want them to be the core of our new look Oldham Athletic side, and they will need game time. So I think it's important that they get some time here today. Good header clear from Joe. There's no one out there to put the pressure on though. Romari Ford into McRae, and a little bit of passing on the edge of the area. King with the strike, and Mulden with a very comfortable save once again. And again, even with the changes that we've made in midfield, I don't think that we've made the team weaker, to be honest. I think with Dixon Bonner and Cartwright coming on, I think they're good quality. So I think we've done really well with the signings that we've managed to make. Dixon Bonner here with a corner, whipped into that near post. It's cleared away. Dixon Bonner does pick it up again, though, finds Gubajumo, and Dixon Bonner has managed to score, but I think Gubajumo may have been offside there, and he was. So very, very unlucky. I mean, I'm not too sure why Dixon Bonner played the pass in the first place. He had the space open up in front of him. And it was a very good finish, to be fair, from Dixon Bonner, but it just ended up offside. Finley Cartwright with the header, didn't have the support there. Here's Romari Ford into Gotts. Back into Ford again. Now Belgrave coming down this right-hand side now, Doncaster. 5 minutes to go. And again, overall performance-wise, I'm relatively pleased. But Hodgett's managed to get in behind, and Hanlon has scored. And by the looks of it, I think the referee may have had his flag up for offside, and he has. So we got away with that one a little bit. It was the striker, in fact, that was offside. I think that the player that got in behind Hodgett initially, I think he could have genuinely just gone for it himself. But luckily, from our point of view, he didn't. And one moment of brilliance is the best term I can use for it. I would say top class, but he's not there yet. But Matthew Taylor's free kick, absolutely fantastic goal, has seen us claim our first win in our first match in charge. And I'm really happy that we've got the win, to be quite honest. Very good 3 points. Again, I'm not too sure how Doncaster rated in terms of the season preview. It is something I neglected to look at, but that is a really good result for us, a 1-0 win. And again, it's similar shades to last season, of course, with Curzon. When we set up with this formation, at times we did have games where we scored quite a few goals, but a lot of the time it was defensive solidity and we just won by the odd goal. So it looks like it's going to be something similar here at Oldham Athletic with this tactic, which I don't mind, to be honest. I want us to be tough to beat, first and foremost, this season. Like I say, the board don't have massive expectations of us. So I think it's just going to be a case of seeing realistically what we can do. I will just have a look at that season preview again. Doncaster are one of the favourites to be in a relegation fight as well. So, from my perspective, that's a really good result. It's a team that should be finishing in and around us, realistically, and for us to get that 1-0 win in the opening day of the season with a pretty much a brand new team, I think is very, very good. And I've just noticed Joe, the Brazilian centre back we brought in, is in the Dream 11 for League Two as well. So, really, really happy with that. And it certainly gives us something to build on going forward. But I mean, Taylor with a fantastic free kick goal, and hopefully it gives us something to build on. Obviously, a number of different debuts in the side as well, and we have had interest in a couple of our players. Gubachumo's been linked with a loan move, incidentally, but he is a little bit more of a key player for us than his contract is to suggest. In terms of fixtures going forward, obviously we are going to get through a few matches. We've got the Virtue Trophy and everything like that as well. But I think I'm going to come back for the game against Bradford. And they wanted us originally. I left the job so I could join them, and then they didn't even give us an interview. So I think um, coming back for that Bradford game is a bit of a personal grudge match, shall we say, after how they conducted themselves after I gave them the chance. So Bradford and Walsall will come back for, and we'll see how we got on in the following matches. There's a Carabao Cup game against Lincoln in there, plus the Virtue Trophy game against Blackpool. So there's only 3 or 4 league games in there, and then we'll have a double header at home against Bradford and Walsall, and hopefully we've started as we mean to go on. But like I say, relegation fight is the realistic term. If we can finish mid-table, I will be very pleased. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.